welcome to episode 5 of Lighthouse Buddies. My name is Tempe, and I am Tempe on Ravelry and Tempe D on Instagram.
And I'm Chrystal, Chrystal Mo on Ravelry, and Chrystal Mo1 on Instagram.
We do have a Ravelry group, the Lighthouse Buddies, which would be a great place for you to go and join and take a look because we have a knit-along that starts tomorrow. Right now it is September 30th. Starting tomorrow, October 1st through November 30th, we have our Honey Cowl Cowl. I will be using my Miss Babs Yowza and Shaken Not Stirred, all caked up and ready to go for tomorrow.
That's so pretty.
I love this stuff. It's so squishy. It actually caked up a lot darker than it looked in the skein. Or at least to me. You can see some more of the lighter bits down inside here.
It's a big cake.
It was the cake that did not want to cake. It caught underneath the yarn winder. It did the thing where the other end dropped off the swift and caught around, and it was a bit of a long caking process. But it's done.
How many yards is that? Do you know?
Yeah.
That's a big cake.
Yowza, it's big. So I am going for the long version of the cowl because I want to double it and twist it around and be super duper warm and cushy on my neck.
I decided, I haven't caked it yet, but I'm going to use my Miss Babs.
Which color?
The jellyfish. Because I absolutely love that. And I'm going to do the long one too.
That's going to be great. I have not finished anything this week.
Me either.
Well, that's fine.
0 FOs.
That's fine. Okay, well, would you like to go first on your works in progress?
Sure. I'm working on a sock. And I finally made some progress. This sock has not been my easiest. I don't know what my problem is. It is the Lollipop yarn, vintage vibe, with the sweet tomato heel.
Oh, I love the way that looks with the colors. Those wedges look fabulous in that.
So I don't know what my deal is. When I started the sock, I started it when I went to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was falling asleep on the plane, and my gauge kept getting looser and looser. So I ripped out and started over because the gauge was way off. And then I get to the heel, and I compared it to the Wild Rumpus socks that I did with the sweet tomato heel. And it looked like it was in the same place, and I finished the heel and got a couple rows up. Way too short. Like, way too short. So I ripped back to, halfway through the foot and went forward again. And this one, I should have stopped one stripe color sooner. It's a little long, but it'll be fine.
Okay.
But I love the sweet tomato heel. I don't know why or how or I can't explain that, but I love the fit on me of the sweet tomato heel. I like the afterthought heel for the way it looks because the sweet tomato heel is better than a heel flap for me because of the stripes, because I'm picky about that. The sweet tomato heel is better than that, but I like the afterthought heel for looks better. So I'm very happy with it.
It looks great.
So one down. I was working on Moab. And remember last week when I said, I think I'm almost done?
Mm-hmm.
Helps if you actually read the pattern and pay attention.
Read the pattern, check your gauge, wash your swatch. None of this stuff is really that necessary.
I was thinking, around 300 stitches.
You like to live life dangerously.
I don't know where I came up with that number, but it wasn't even close. Like, it was closer to 225 than 300. So I spent an entire evening ripping back, quite a bit farther back. And so
I'm biting my lip.
I still have 2 extra repeats because I was tired of going back. So a repeat is 15 stitches, so I have an extra 30 stitches.
Really?
Because I ripped back like really far, and then I counted the stitches, and I'm like, wow, I still have to go further. And, wow. And so when I got it down to a nice even multiple, 2 multiples extra, I stopped. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not ripping back anymore. The reading directions thing.
I love the way you never let this stop you from just barreling on through the next time.
Well, like for the sock, I got to knit the same yarn.
Oh, you're getting your money's worth.
Dude! And that, get my money's worth.
And the spit, you know what? You should rip the whole thing out, stitch by stitch, tink it, and then untwist the fiber and ball it all back up again so you can have the fun spinning it again too.
There you go. Okay, so my next project has been really exciting for me. Okay, so I wanted to make the Oak Park. Oak Park by Laura Ayler for a while. And one of the girls locally was destashing some Plucky Bellow, and I had never touched it. I'm like, oh, I would love it. So I got some Plucky Bellow, which is 45-55 merino cashmere. 55-45, whatever. Anyway, so excited. Well, she had 3 skeins, and I thought, oh, that's a great start for Oak Park. And it was a gray, a greenish color, and a rust. And then I get to thinking, because I thought the rust could be my highlight color. Didn't really care for the rust as much. So I thought, well, I'm going to order, and they had an update coming soon. So the next update I ordered, so this gray I had, and this one.
So she destashed 3 colors at the same time?
Yes, so the gray is Fisherman's Wharf. This color is Table Setting. And so I had 3, and I only needed 2 more. A black-ish for the contrast, and then a highlight color. I didn't want the rust because it's
not you.
It's not me. So at the update, I picked up Thank You Note.
That is you.
That is totally me. And Brooch for my highlight.
Definitely you.
And so for the color, I didn't want black. I didn't want a harsh black. So looking at the pictures online, I mean, the monitors aren't exact and, So I chose 2 drifters.
Oh, I like that.
I love this color. It is so beautiful. It is really dark. However, it is too close to table setting. So you couldn't, it didn't do a really good job.
No contrast.
Not enough, let me get that. See, there's not enough contrast.
Yeah. That's the same.
So I ordered wrought iron from a D-stash. You cannot tell.
It looks like
green.
Table Setting.
It's darker, but it has a green tint to it, and I didn't want a green tint. I wanted a navy blue, if anything, but not green. So this is dark enough.
Yeah, it is.
It's dark enough, but it's too green. Didn't want too green.
Okay.
So, okay, I had to wait because this was a pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
Takes forever. I get it. I sit there for about a month and I'm like, okay, this is not the right color. So then I searched D-Stash. Took me about a month to find this. Get it? No color. So then finally there's another update. Took a while and it's another pre-order. But this color is Study Hall. And you can't really tell. It is a dark, almost black, but it's really a good navy blue. And I'm so very pleased.
Oh, it does look fabulous.
It has just enough blue in it that it really brings out the blue in this table setting,
Mm-hmm.
which the wrought iron made it look green. It brought out the green tones in the table setting. And it looks really good with the pink too, where I wasn't as happy with the wrought iron with the pink. So, finally, after months and months and months and months of trying to get the right yarn, Oak Park is now on the needles. So I'm very happy.
But I have to say, the wrought iron and the, was it Steady Hall?
Study
No.
Hall is the one that I have.
Okay. So
This
you've got the
one's,
navy, the breast, and the wrought iron, and those three colors would probably make something nice right there.
yeah, in the pattern, so according to the pattern, and I did a little schematic when I was playing with what colors to use. I went to Plucky's site and I was looking at their colors and I played around and I put them on a Word document and then I used a paintbrush to fill in the grids to see, you know, how I thought the layout would work. But according to the pattern for the scarf, for the gray you only need 85 yards. The table setting, which is that greenish color, is 210 yards. Thank You, which is the brighter blue,
Mm-hmm.
is 240 yards. The pink brooch is 95 yards. And the outline is 185 yards. And these skeins have 380 yards. So I'll have plenty of each left. So I have 380 yards and I only need 185 of the outline. And even with the Thank You, I only need 240.
Now, what weight is that?
Fingering.
So you're set to make a whole bunch of color work projects. That is awesome.
So I'm really excited. And some of these, like this would be really great with the Thank You.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so these will all mix and match very well together. So I'm very happy, even though it took a very long time and I have 2 extra skeins. They all mix and match so well. Like, I mean, I think I'll be able to use them and they'll be great. So I'm excited. So finally.
Congratulations.
And you have quite a few whips.
I do. I did not reblock Sia because I am living dangerously myself. So the week of Rhinebeck, I'll be rushing around soaking yarn. I have been working on 3 projects, mostly. I have made some more progress. I'm about, let's see, I was about here on the drop stitch scarf, and now I'm here. Tried it on my daughter, maybe another, check out those beautiful colors in there. Maybe another foot or so, because it's already long enough for her to do the, double it and pull it through, but the ends stop short. And I don't want to have it ridiculously long like a Doctor Who scarf, which she probably would like because she signed up for the Doctor Who club at school. But we still don't need to be doing that. So I've got that, and that's close to being done. I made progress on the Lorna's Laces socks for my brother for Christmas. I'm so proud of myself. Sock number one,
Very
like sock number one is done, and it definitely
I like the
flashed.
pink on the heel.
Well, and this is what you would hope it would do everywhere, but it's the stitch count. I've got 80 stitches on here because I'm a bit of a snug knitter. I'm using a 1.5. He is a size 11.5, so it doesn't quite fully fit on here. And I did a 6-inch leg. The last time I made him socks, I did a 4-inch leg, and he said he wanted something longer. And I really should have done longer than this for him, but I was nervous about how much yarn I would have. And I finished this off on our camp out this weekend because I like that you can machine wash this to get the campfire smoke smell out. And I started the next one, and I came home and I just weighed the first sock today because I was a little nervous about how much yarn is left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so here I was a little entertained by this.
Gonna play chicken?
A skein of Lorna's Laces weighs 102 grams. Sock number one weighs 49 grams, which means I have 53 grams for sock number two, and I better not loosen up my gauge at all.
Wow.
So yeah, it should come out just right. I actually had another skein of this sitting in my cart just in case. I haven't purchased it yet. Hopefully I won't need to. But I
See,
gotta
you
say,
did toe up.
I like top. I like nice heel flaps. They fit me better. Short row heel socks just are not as comfy for me, so I'm not going to do that to anyone else. I have in the past, and I finally decided that that was not me. So, and here's my big news. I finally hit my stride with Bridgewater. So you know how sometimes you're plugging away and it's just like a struggle and you're slogging through lace? I finally broke through. I am now all tangled up here. There,
Wait, you froze? Oh, there. Okay.
there. Here
Wow.
is the catching on everything stitch marker. Here is corner number 3.
Wow.
So close to corner number 3 and being done. I'll have to figure
This
out
is so beautiful.
how to block this edging because I don't really want to go through every single bit. But
You
not
know,
only is it beautiful,
when Lily blocks hers, so, she said sometimes she'll run a string through it.
but no, that's the same problem with going through every edge.
Oh.
You see how it's eyelet? I don't want just a straight line because you've got this little tip right here of the
Oh.
leaf, if you can see that there.
Okay. So you want to pull out the tips.
But I don't want to pull them too much.
Well, what if you run a string just through the tips
Well,
and then pull that out? Wouldn't that pull them all even then?
that would pull all the leaf tips even, and that wouldn't be any different than using my blocking wires.
Oh.
I've done things before where I've had, except this isn't going to be far enough out. And maybe it'll turn out fine once I actually block it. But I've done things before where I've had like 2 layers of blocking wires just to get the different things where I wanted them. And it turned out okay. I would have to resort to the string though, just because I don't have enough blocking wires. This thing is humongous.
It's a shame we're not in the same town. You could use mine.
It's okay. I will figure it out. I do not mind the joy of blocking. This is the Jared Flood Bridgewater. I think I'm using a size 5, and this is alpaca with a twist pheno. I am on my second skein, and it looks like I will not go completely through it. And they're about 880 yard skeins, I believe. And I've got all these little ends getting in my way, but I finally hit it.
Yay!
I'm so proud of myself. And I hit it so much that it was just yesterday morning that I did corner number 2.
Oh, wow.
So I've been zooming because it
So
was so slow before. Yeah, I don't know if I'll actually wear a big square shawl, but it's not about the wearing, it's about the making. And one last thing.
I like that bag.
I do like this bag. My good friend Chrystal got it for me last year. So in my wintry themed Fat Squirrel bag, I have my Snowflakes in Cedar Woods by Ann Hansen. This is the ginormous, whoa, can you see all these stitch markers? This is the ginormous,
Does the same stitch markers like you got me?
some of them, yes.
I love those stitch markers.
It's a huge square shawl.
When's the last time you worked on it?
This week,
I mean, before this week.
2 years.
Has it been that long?
This is in the Knit Picks Bear lace weight. I love, let's see if you can see the picture here. I love how it starts in the middle and you've got these big snowflakes and the smaller snowflakes. And then I'm down in the trees. So I picked it up. I did 2 rows this week. And I discovered something. I discovered, let me see about the best place to find it, that some of my stitch markers are tarnishing onto, yes, onto my project. Can you see that?
Oh.
Yeah, all these brass colored ones. This is not superwash yarn. I just may have some little smoky bits in my snowfall. The other ones were fine, but all of those brass ones, I don't know if you can see that one as well since it's right here. Yeah,
Wow.
I need to go through and remove them. I'm not thrilled, but in the big
So,
picture,
so would you back up and no? Okay, okay.
that would be the HE double hockey stick. No, not going to happen. Not worth it.
Small. It's very small.
Well, I never, this thing is huge. And I
It's
still have 4 charts to go and an edging. And you can see the humongous collection of stitch markers I have here. I remember I had to keep ordering more just for this. And now I'll have to see what I have left, and I might have to order more to replace those brass ones that have tarnished. But I never planned to wear this as a shawl. I always planned it, as like a snuggly wrap, for cuddling up in the house. And it's knit on a size 3 and it's fairly dense, or at least it is for me. And I have to say
so pretty.
it's going to be awesome. I only did 2 rows because it was calling me, but it's really warm in my lap still. It's not gotten cold enough to really concentrate on this. Bridgewater is getting really warm in my lap, but I'm not going to slow down while I finally have forward momentum going.
Right.
But I think, as I recall, this is still my first ball yarn because the bear is 808. I don't see how this could be. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I could carry a cat around in here, which would be about the worst thing to do for lace. I could certainly, it's my bag of holding. Look at that. It's huge
It's
already.
beautiful.
It's going to be very awesome. And I do love how I have themed them. So that is it for my knitting right now.
Spinning? You've been spinning?
I did do some spinning. Did you do any spinning? I
You
don't
go
want
first.
to. Okay, I didn't want to monopolize. I finished up Dark Sweet Cherries.
So beautiful.
It's okay. It looks to be about a fingering weight. It
I love
is.
the depth in there.
It's the Merino Superwash Merino Silk from Three Waters Farm. It was the CTA spin along back in spring. I have about 500 yards or so. And I was planning to knit up Saranac from, is that Kristen Kapoor?
Is it the one that we did for the spin along?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I have it. Right here. I have mine that I did with the
Southern
Southern
Cross
Cross
Fiber
Fiber.
Salt Collecting.
When I didn't check my gauge and it was 9 feet long.
Okay, so would you please show them how the pattern starts?
Oh, sure. So you you start with this piece
Uh-huh,
and you do these little pointy bits.
uh-huh. How many times?
I don't remember. A lot.
It's a specific count, but I will let everyone else know that it is a specific
We'll just
count,
say
not a count,
90. Just for
not
a
90.
random number, we'll say 90.
So Crystal just kept knitting until she reached that count. And she was showing me what she had. And was it 9 feet long or was it
It
11
was,
feet long?
I don't know, it was really,
I think it was
when
11.
I was halfway through, it was almost 5 feet. So it might have been 11 because
Mhm.
I was almost at I was over 4 feet when I was halfway through my points. And you told me I should stop. And I said, oh no, because when I pick up and I'm knitting this way, it'll snug it in.
It'll condense like 3 feet there, no problem.
It does not condense 3 feet.
So you got your money's worth
Gauge.
on this also, didn't you?
I did. Gauge counts. So when you're doing these, if you're at 11 feet, you might want to go down a needle size or two or three. In my case, it was at least three.
A lot.
It was a lot. That whole gauge thing, it's elusive.
Well, when you don't try
Look,
for
there's
it.
an end.
Crystal does not like to trim her ends.
I
Anywho, so I am planning to use my dark sweet cherries to make that. And I don't recall what the yardage called for is.
don't. Less
That
than 500.
was it less? Well, I'm prepared in case I need more. I'm sorry, I tried a different light thing. So now when I come up here, you guys can't see it as well because it's dark. There, maybe. So when I got
Oh, it
this,
says 525. I don't think I use that much.
okay, well, it's that whole gauge thing determines it a little bit. So anyhow, when I got the braid, as you can see, it's tonal, and I like the barber pole effect. So I said, heck with it. I'm not going to split it down the middle because I'm not a good enough spinner where it was going to match up anyhow. So I just unbraided the whole thing, laid it out end to end, and just ripped it apart in the middle. I did not weigh it because it's not like one end was wet and the other one wasn't. When I applied my two bobbins together, I have this much still.
But one section could have been dense. I would bet the two halves did not weigh the same.
I don't think they were off this much. I think it's quite safe to say no, they probably really were not off this much. So I will break out my handy Andy to apply this up because the wristband thing really hurts when I try to do that. My hand turns interesting colors. But I will go ahead and Andy and apply it. No,
No,
apply it back on itself. Do the
two ply.
Andean thing on the handy Andy tool, which I will show you next time.
I've
It was
tried
a
doing the bobbin and doing from the outside and the inside, and I have a disaster every time I try that.
well, I have the handy Andy that was a wonderful gift from my friend Angie, and it has really made it so that I'm not just throwing things away. But look, I've got enough to make something for sure with this. Clearly, I need to work on more consistency with my spinning.
Well, if you run out of yarn,
I am
you can
good
fall
for
back on.
several projects. So I finished that. I have another project that I started that I've been meaning to do for some time since last year. This is half of it, and this one I did split lengthwise.
Did you
And it
weigh
is,
it?
no, it looks close enough.
You
What am
should
I gonna,
weigh it.
but what am I gonna do if one side's off? How am I gonna decide where to pull the color from? I'm gonna pull a little wisp all the way along.
But at least you know then, if your bobbins don't match up, you know it was not your spinning.
Or I will live with that elusive question unanswered.
You wild woman, you.
Wild. Totally. Okay.
Hi, Mom.
She likes you. So anyhow, this is split in half. This is Spotted Circus. It is from her Game of Thrones club that she had in 2013. This is the House Targaryen
Fiber.
Dragon House. Cordell. Nice plain Cordell. And I have made, wow, this lighting is bad. There. I have made some pretty decent progress.
You
I've
really
gone
have.
through the bright red and I'm moving towards the dark. My
Halfway?
plan, I'm sorry,
Half? Halfway?
halfway on the one for sure. I think over. I'm not weighing it because I don't like knowing how much there is. I like just finishing. So my plan is to chain fly and make fingerless mitts as a gift for somebody who will hopefully appreciate the House Targaryen.
I like how Corydale squishes up.
It, very nice. Now I tried to do this a little thicker than usual. My default is for 3-ply sock weight. So I really, I'm not quite sure how it's going to end up.
It's going to be gorgeous.
I'll find a pattern that'll work for it somehow. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Good progress. That is all that I have been up to.
I have no spinning, but I have done a lot of fiber prep. So we have Spinzilla coming up. Spinzilla is by the TNNA. It's October 6th through the 12th. And it's a global event this year. Last year it was only
Really?
for the US, but this year it is international. And teams compete friendly to see which team can spin the most yarn. And it's up to 25 people per team. And they really try to have even numbers, but you know, not all teams have even numbers. I'm on team Shuttle Spindles and Skeins, which is my local yarn shop. And We have 25 people. Our team is not as competitive. It's about having fun and learning and sharing the love of spinning more than being the winner. So I like that because then you're not, because some people like take time off work to spin. And
Really?
the girl last year that spun so much, she came into the store recently, a couple weeks ago, and said her shoulder was still bothering her.
Oh, that's not worth it.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be fun, not to cause damage.
right. So I am very happy that our team is about fun and education. So last Monday and yesterday were both fiber prep. So we went to the store and we spent the evening prepping fiber. So I have two fleece that I'm working on. The one fleece that I'm working on is our Rock Day fleece. And Shuttles every year does this, it's not really a challenge, it's kind of like a spin along. And they pick a fleece or a type of fleece or a theme, and everybody gets fiber like around the June, July timeframe. And the goal is to have it spun and knit into a project by Rock Day or Die Staff Day. Die Staff Day is January 7th. It's the day after the Feast of Epiphany. I'm not, I don't know that, but something about the 12 days of Christmas, and it's after that, and it's the women's day off or the women's day back to work. Their first day back to work or their day off, or I don't know. But that it's a
There's a big
celebration of,
difference between the two.
well, so it's all about that. So last year we had bond fleece, and we all had bond fleece, and then people spun it up and knit it up and wove and made all kinds of stuff. This year, the goal is it's all about blending. So we had, I think there were 4 different fleece that were selected at Estes. There was a black and a white, a gray, and maybe a brown. I think there were 4 fleece, but you could get 1 or 2 pounds of fiber and then wash it and spin it and everything. So theoretically, January 7th. So the fleece that I have is it's a CVM. It's gray, and the sheepie's name was Zane. This is.
Oh, I see the little crimpies.
It's a very curly one. Love the curls.
Oh, that's nice.
It was beautiful fleece. So I have a pound. I have a pound of CVM. So I washed it, and then the goal is about blending. So I'm taking and blending, I'm making bats, and all the bats have approximately 33 grams of wool, 7 grams of tussa silk, 7 grams of icicle, and then 7 grams of something else. So this one has black diamond bamboo.
Oh,
See it?
wow. Uh-huh.
So I have 2 of these. This one is soy silk. And so when I took it off the drum carder, I took it off as really tight to keep the bats kind of tight so that for storage until I'm ready to spin. But once you open them, they floof. They're fabulous. This one is sea cell.
Oh, that one's very shiny.
And then I have one with possum. And so I have enough to do 2 of each. Right now I
Okay.
only have one of the possum. I don't know if I'm going to do the other possum because it was just so difficult to blend. These were all very wonderful to blend. And I have done all of these on a cleanse
Cleans and cleans,
drum
cleanse and
carder.
cleanse.
The electric drum carder. One of the girls here is so kind to let us use it. And so we've been having girl day at her house and playing with drum carders and fiber and good old time. And the other thing that I have been prepping is at Estes, Jamie, Christine, and I split a fleece because all three of us said we were not going to buy a fleece. And then we said, well, what if we find the perfect fleece? Well, I wanted curly because I like curly. And Jamie likes shiny. And Christine wanted soft or I don't remember what her criteria was. And then this fleece came up. And it's Wensleydale, Columbia, and Rambouillet. So it's curly, shiny, and whatever Christine was asking for, it had her criteria too. So we split the fleece because, I mean, for one fleece to meet all three of us,
Yeah,
it was meant to be.
it was.
So we split the fleece, and the little sheepy didn't have a name, it just had a number.
Oh, how sad. Oh, wow.
This is after it was washed. It was so much curlier before, but I don't like put it in locks or anything when I wash it.
That is amazing.
It is so curly. It is fabulous. So after watching Maggie flick the first one, I thought, you know, I'll try it because I didn't want to lose all the squishiness of this with a drum carder, and I was afraid it might stretch it out too much and just. So I thought I'll flick it. So I took combs and I placed the fiber on the comb and just flicked it open. Then I turned it over and I flicked the other side just to open it up. And this is, can't really see
It's so poofy.
it's so poofy. It is so, this huge bag is 2 ounces. So floofy. Well, then last night at the fiber prep, I was like, you know, I want to compare it with combs because I
Okay,
don't
well, hold
really
on. Hold on. You said that you put it on combs and you were doing that. Did you mean cards?
cards. Yes,
Okay.
cards, hand carders. So I have Louette extra fine hand carders, and I just took it and I held on to one end, and I just put it on here and just did this. And
Because
then
you don't have a flicker brush, right?
I turned it over and I did the other side. That's all I did. And it turned out just absolutely beautiful. Well, I don't really, I took the class on the difference between combs and carding, but it didn't really sink in. And so while I was there and all the fiber prep stuff was available, there was blending boards and drum carders and combs and flickers and all the tools were there. I thought, I want to see what it's like to do it on combs. So I used the St. Blaise combs.
Oh, hold on. Hold on just a moment. Do you know why they're called the St. Blaise combs?
Tell the story.
Because St. Blaise was martyred by being killed by combs and carders.
Wouldn't that be a horrible
Speed. So it's a little morbid to be using St. Blaise combs. That being said, I bought some combs last year and I bought the St. Blaise combs.
That would be
I
okay.
guess I am morbid.
That would be
Look it
fun.
up. It's a great story. It's very short.
So anyway, I used the St.
Continue.
Blaise combs
You may continue.
and I prepped.
Oh, wow. That is so white and bright looking. I
Can you see how springy it is? Can you see all the
see you're
curls?
you're working on me where I keep doing this leaning forward like that's going to make much difference.
I do it. I totally do it. Can you see how can you see all the waves in there?
Mm-hmm.
So, what I learned with this, so doing the flicking on the hand carder kept all the fiber going the same way because I'm holding half of it and just opening up the end. So I'm not making rollags or carding it. So all my fiber's still going the same way. But with this, it seems to not straighten it out as much. It opens it as much without pulling it and straightening it. And it seems like it has more crimp in this than what I flicked. And to do this, so she's so awesome. I said, okay, I'm sold. I love the hand carders. I desperately want
Combs.
some combs. Thank you. I desperately want some, but they're not in the budget right now because they are kind of pricey. But my other concern is the dog because she's hyper. And I worry they're vicious little things. And these are not
You could
as
kill someone with those, and then they'd be martyred by the Catholic Church,
there you go. So I was
which isn't a bad
concerned.
thing.
I was concerned about the dog and her safety. And so she's letting me borrow these this week. And these are not the St. Blaise. They actually don't make these anymore. But these are not as pointy. And she said, try these just to, get my comfort level with the dog. Make sure that I feel comfortable that she's not going to impale herself because that would be awful. So
They
these
would
are,
mess up your fiber.
yes, these are the combs. And so to do these, you take the fiber. This is what I was just flicking, so it's kind of scruffy looking. And you put it on the combs.
Do you have your tetanus shot?
I do have my tetanus shot.
It is very much recommended that your tetanus shot be up to date when you work on these.
I am up to date. So you load your combs, and then you take it and pull, and I didn't really put it on very well. So you pull a couple times, and it opens up the fiber, and it transfers it to the other comb, and then you go from the other comb. And you can see how that's,
Mm-hmm.
so then you'll grab it with this comb, and it'll open it up. And then you diz it. So what's left on here is waste. And then you'll take this and you'll diz it off. And I don't have an official diz, so I just use a button. I have a pretty button that a friend gave me. And last night they were taking a squirt bottle and squirting a little bit of water. Some people put some baby oil or stuff in their water, but they all said last night everybody just uses plain water because you spend all the time washing the oil out. Why would you put more oil in? So everybody just uses a squirt bottle with water. So then you pull it
Now,
out
why are you squirting it at all?
because it gets so fluffy. It helps it just kind of stay a little bit more organized. Makes it a little faster to work with. So then you pull it. If I had my button, I would put it through the button, which I don't have right here. So this is huge. Oh, you know what? Here. This is a darning needle. It's huge. I'm just going to put the end through the darning needle. It's the same concept.
Now you're holding each comb in your hands because I have a table mount that I got
This,
for mine.
the same place, you can get a table mount for that, but these that I brought home didn't come with that.
Okay.
You know, this darning needle maybe. Okay, so I just threaded it through the darning needle
Oh, wow.
just because I don't have the button handy. And you just, I don't know if I can do this on, you just pull it through.
This does not look safe.
Well,
You are worrying me. It's pointed at your eyes. Please put it down.
well, I'm trying to get it to where it shows on here. Okay, so I'm
You
going to
won't
take
be
it
able to see it anymore once you poke your eyes.
okay. So you just pull it off, and then once you have it all pulled off through the diz, what's left behind is waste. And that's how you comb. Make those fluffy little, these little nesty, and they'll be so fabulous to spin.
Now, what are you planning to do with what you spin?
Okay, so with the gray, because it's different blends, my thought, which we'll have to see how it spins and everything turns out, my thought is to do a pie shawl and do each section with a different fiber blend. So like, I'll probably have the least amount with the possum, so do that in the middle. And then maybe do the sea cell, then the bamboo, then the soy silk, so that each section is clearly the different fiber blend.
Because I have 3 fleece and you drum carded parted 2 of them into bats. But I have
That
my
would be
first
the
one that I
white
bought,
and the CVM.
but my CVM Romeldel was delicate and probably the parts that I did before I came back home, I ended up snapping lots. So I've got lots of little neps in my bats. And I bought the St. Blaise combs just to be able to comb it and get rid of all of those. And it does have, my fleece did have second cuts in it. I have not finished combing it. I have not finished processing any of the 3 fleece I have. But what I have read is that when you're doing spinning off that dizzed roving and you're compressing it, it can end up really dense and heavy, which is why they recommend roll-ogs. So what I had planned to do when I get to that point, and this could be the wrong thing because I haven't done it. I don't actually know. I'm just reading stuff online. But what I had planned to do was to sort of, tear it off into sections and just sort of make full lags out of it and do that because I'm planning on sweaters with it and I don't want a dense, super heavy sweater. But
You
the
can
other
also
style,
just do over the fold. It gives you the same, if you do over the fold, it's the same thing as a faux leg, really, I think. I
I
could be
know,
wrong.
but then I'd still only have lots of little short sections
Yeah,
as opposed to a longer faux lag that I can create.
true.
But for you doing lace, it would be fine.
Yeah, so the white, I'm gonna do, I'm thinking a 3-ply fingering and a lace shawl.
That'll be very cool.
So they'll both be fingering lace shawls. Wow, that's a shocker that I'm gonna do more shawls.
We are at almost an hour now.
Wow. So one more really quick thing I want to mention.
Okay.
Yarn Fest by Interweave is in April, and I signed up.
Oh, good for
So
you.
it's April 16th through the 19th in Loveland, Colorado. It's by Interweave, and it should be great. There's so many classes, and I signed up for Cheaper by the Dozen, which is 12 ways to spin variegated top, because I have all these club fibers,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I struggle with how to spin it to get the colors, and So that's what that one is. And the other class I signed up for is 2 socks in 1, where you knit the sock inside of the other sock.
I am not brave enough for that.
So that's April 16th through 19th,
Our sign up
and it
still
should
open?
be. I think, yes. I think you need to come out and participate.
Nah.
It's a long
It
weekend.
it sounds very fun, but my kids are younger. I don't know, I'll
Yeah,
think about it, but I don't want to take a lot of trips. And I am signed up, as are you, for the zombie knit apocalypse in June.
that should be fabulous.
It should. I am looking forward to it. Oh, okay.
She hears you.
Kitty cat or pumpkin?
Kitty, Tori, she wants to say hi to you. Every time you Skype, she wants to come say hi.
Does she?
All right,
Oh,
that's all I have.
okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Hope you come and join the Honey Cow Cow. And if not, that's okay. It's all good. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.